Ninja Turtles fans have waited 14 years for a complete DVD box set of the 2003 Ninja Turtles series. It's finally here! Was it worth the wait?
It's morphin' time!
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles!
Hello, this is Soundout here, and welcome to my review of Paramount's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles The Ultimate Collection DVD set. This is the complete 2003 series on DVD, something fans have been looking for 14 years since the series ended and Nickelodeon / Paramount bought Ninja Turtles in 2009. So it's been a long time coming. I think a lot of people have been bugging Paramount for this and Nickelodeon and wondering why the heck do we not have this show complete? Because outside of Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which was the most recent series, this was the only show to not have a complete DVD release. And the thing is that, well, for whatever reason, Paramount just kind of ignores this show. We get a lot of stuff based on the '87 show, clearly. We get a lot of merch as well. And that's really nice, but it's also kind of like a whole generation of fans are waiting for their moment in the sun with the Mirage Productions / 4Kids series. So it's kind of been a long time coming to get a box set. And since the show turns 20 this year, and there also is a new Ninja Turtles movie coming out in theaters, I think that Paramount decided now was the time to release this. Now, this is by no means a perfect release, but I'm going to talk about what the good and bad of it is. Specifically, the first thing I want to mention is that if you're going to be going around looking at Walmart, Target, or Best Buy for this, don't waste your time. This release is being done exclusively online as a manufactured on-demand release. And for those unaware what a manufactured on-demand release means, it's that you're not going to get a full retail package. They're not producing an allotment of units and sending them out to stores. They're going to be producing them as demand is met. So, for example, they produced a bunch of copies to send out when it first released, and when those sell out, it's going to take a little time. They have to press more discs before they can release it. And so, in general, manufactured on-demand releases mean they don't necessarily sell out all the time, but they sometimes do, but they will be back. Now, the other thing is with manufactured on-demand releases, when Paramount decides we don't want to print that anymore, and it's just over. It's not like there's a remaining stock too much. So, keep all that in mind with this collection. So if you're looking for it, Amazon, deep discount, those kind of places are going to be where you can look for it and find it. You're not going to find it from the big box retailers. The other thing to point out is that this is a brand new set of discs. There is 18 discs for the entire show, and all of them are newly pressed. And I do mean pressed. Unlike some other releases that have been manufactured on demand, like Warner Archive or some other companies, these are not DVD-Rs that have the content put on them. The contents are put on these with pressed retail-like discs. So they are a bit higher quality than your standard manufactured on demand, which is appreciated. In general, we'll talk about the physical features of this set, but I did want to have that preamble up front. So if you're looking to buy the set, don't go looking in the big box stores because they likely will not have this, especially not in physical retail. So on that note, I do want to cover the sort of history of how we got here, because the 2003 series is beloved, but the release on disc has been a complete mess, an absolute complete disaster. But if you have gone through the trenches of trying to collect the old 4Kids releases and don't want to relive that trauma, there are chapter times in the description along the timeline, so you can jump to the review of the actual set. But first of all, I want to give historical context for those that are unaware how botched this show has been released on physical media. So originally, when the show aired in 2003 to 2009, 4Kids was the license holder for distribution of the series, and I believe they also co-produced it with Mirage Productions. At the time, 4Kids, being a lot into anime, had a deal with Funimation to release DVDs. They did this for Yu-Gi-Oh!, they did this for Shaman King, and some other shows. So Funimation was kind of like the main go-to. So Funimation was the ones releasing the physical media during the show run, which also means it followed the typical anime format at the time of only 3 to 4 episodes per DVD. Now, this isn't a big issue when you look back at the historical context, so that was just very common back then. Unfortunately, for some reason, unlike their anime releases or even their Yu-Gi-Oh! Releases, a bunch of the episodes weren't in order after a certain point. So I wanted to track the history of the volume releases and kind of talk about where it went wrong, but before we get to the main set, because this will show one of the accomplishments the new set has. So first things first, on September 2nd, 2003, saw 2 releases. Volume 1, Attack of the Mousers, with episodes 1 to 3 of Season 1, and Volume 2, Meet Casey Jones, with episodes 4 through 6 of Season 1. I'm not exactly sure why this wasn't just one DVD with 6 episodes, since they came out on the same day, but I'm not one making decisions in 2003, so there's that. On October 14th, 2003, 2 more volumes were released. Volume 3, The Way of Invisibility, with Season 1, episodes 7 through 9, and Volume 4, Shredder Strikes, from Season 1, episodes 10 through 12. There also was a box set of the first 4 released on November 18th, 2003, and it actually came with 4 little miniature turtle figures, which was kind of neat. The other thing to note is I don't have an official image of this, and I don't want to just pull from like an eBay listing, but they had connecting spine art for the first series of volumes, but they never finished that, so there goes that. On January 13th, 2004, 2 more volumes. Volume 5, Notes from the Underground, containing Season 1, Episode 13 through 15. Volume 6, The Shredder Strikes Back, including Season 1, Episodes 16 through 19. On March 16, 2004, they wrapped up Season 1 with Volume 7, Return to New York, with Season 1, Episode 20 through 23, and Volume 8, The Search for Splinter, from Season 1, Episode 24 to 26. So within 8 DVD volumes, you could complete the first season, and every episode was in order. Enjoy that feeling while it lasts. Volume 9, released on May 4th, 2004, Turtles in Space contained Season 2, Episodes 1 through 4. And then on June 8th, 2004, Volume 10, Secret Origins, contained Season 2, Episodes 5 through 8. On August 17th, 2004, Volume 11, The Ultimate Ninja, contains Season 2, Episodes 9 through 11, and 18. Why the heck would they do that? I have no idea. Volume 12, Croc Attack, released October 5th, 2004, with Season 2, Episodes 12 through 13, 17, and 21 through 22. What is going on with that? It's not like there's a discrepancy in air date order or production order. Most of the episodes aired in order, aside from some Season 3 episodes. What the heck was Funimation doing there at the end? Then to throw everybody off, on October 19th, 2004, Michelangelo's Christmas Rescue came out, which contains Season 3, Episode 1, The Christmas Aliens, which is actually, that was before that episode even aired. And then Season 1, Episodes 1, 5, and 10, for some reason. Which also is really weird, because 10 is The Shredder Strikes Part 1, so it ends on a cliffhanger. November 9th, 2004, Volume 13, The Battle Nexus, contains Season 2, Episodes 23 through 26. And then on January 18th, 2005, Volume 14, City at War, contains Season 2, Episodes 14 through 16, and 19 and 20. I don't know why Season 2 got completely out of order like that, or why they made those decisions, but I can imagine those collecting the volumes are probably like, what the hell is this? They changed volume styles. So instead of making a Volume 15, on March 15, 2005, Volume 3.1, Ways of the Warrior Alien Invasion came out. Seemingly to say this is the Season 3 sets, but as we see, that's a lie. Season 3, Episode 13, 9, and then 2 to 3, in that order. Oh God, I don't know why this is. April 26, 2005, 3.2, Ways of the Warrior Worlds Collide, with Season 3, Episodes 5 through 8 and 12. On June 14, 2005, 3.3, Ways of the Warrior Return of the Ultimate Ninja, Season 3, Episodes 19 through 23. August 30th, 2005, 3.4, Ways of the Warrior Shredder's Final Countdown, Season 3, Episodes 25 and 26, Season 4, Episodes 1, 4, and 8. So there's no distinction between Season 3 and 4 in the numbering. So why'd you start the numbering over? All right, October 4, 2005, 3.5, Mutants and Monsters, Season 3, Episodes 14, 16, 24, and Season 4, Episodes 5 and 12. Imagine watching a show where you're jumping, like, just imagine you hit play all, and you're just jumping, like, randomly through Season 3, and then suddenly you jump to Season 4, and you miss the finale of Season 3, where important stuff happened. Anyways, January 31st, 2006, 3.6, Turtles Against Hate, Season 3, Episode 10, 15, 17, Season 4, Episodes 2 to 3. On May 16th, 2006, 3.7, Hunt on the Run, which was Season 3, Episodes 11, 18, and Season 4, Episodes 6, 7, 9, and 10. So, for those keeping track, at the end of the 3-point volumes, you had to complete Season 3, except for the Christmas episode, which you had to get Michelangelo's Christmas Rescue to get. Okay, so how do we finish Season 4? Obviously, there's going to be a 3.8, right? No, they switched to 2-disc sets with the September 12, 2006 release called Season 4. It is not the complete Season 4, it is just Episodes 11 and 13 through 25. That does not complete Season 4, there's still an episode missing. Then we switch into the gear of, I have this, February 6, 2007 release of Fast Forward Future Shell Shock, containing episodes 1 through 13 of Season 6 in order. This seemed like the ideal format. A nice 2-disc set with the episodes listed there, episodes in order, half a season, all good to go in one volume. You know, they could really pump these out and complete the show, because the next release was on May 22nd, 2007 with Season 1, Part 1. This contained episodes 1 through 12 of Season 1 in the correct order. A great way to re-release those early releases and condense them down. Plus, really cool looking spine art that would be consistent with these volumes. August 7th, 2007, fast forwards The Day of Awakening, which was episodes 14 through 26. The completion of the fast forward season, Season 6, meaning that season was released completely in order. Then following up on September 18th, 2007, Season 1, Part 2, containing 13 through 26 of Season 1, completing that set. And that is pretty cool, because this seemed like, and I remember this at the time, this seemed like, oh hey, they're condensing the volumes into these nice little season sets. You know, it's half a season per set, but hey, it keeps it nice and consistent, right? So then on February 19th, 2008, Season 2, Part 1, containing episodes 1 through 12 of Season 2, now in the correct order, was released, and then everything fell apart. The May 20th, 2008 release of Ninja Tribunal, containing Season 4, Episode 26, which leads into the Ninja Tribunal season, so I get why they did that, and then episodes 1 through 12 of Season 5, which completes season in order, was incredibly short printed. I could never find this set. I looked for it, never saw it. Same goes for the October 21st, 2008, Season 2, Part 2, containing episodes 13 through 26 of Season 2, where, again, I could not find it. Plus, Season 3 and 4 never got the proper releases. While there was that Season 4 volume, I consider that more a volume than a season set. And then, unfortunately, at that point, that was when Paramount and Nickelodeon purchased Ninja Turtles and told 4Kids to cease all DVD operations. Whether we would have seen Season 3 Part 1 as the next release, we have no idea, because it seems like they were already falling apart a little bit at the end there with how short printed those last 2 volumes were. So Paramount and Nickelodeon come in and we get Turtles Forever, the finale movie, with its 73-minute edited cut on August 24th, 2010. And if you don't have this, I will mention it again, but if you don't have this and you want to buy the complete set, I recommend picking this up, as we'll talk about soon. Now, that was it. It was seemingly like they just threw out Turtles Forever because maybe they had an existing contract for it to go to DVD. But unfortunately, Season 7, Back to the Sewer, never saw a release. The Mayhem and Mutant Islands shorts did not see a release. So there was a bit of a gap. Even if you had all the volumes, say you got all of them, even with the out of order stuff, you had seasons 1 through 6 complete. They weren't in order, but they did have every episode. So you're missing Back to the Sewers, which is really kind of a bummer, especially because they made Turtles Forever. So there's just like 13 episodes that just aren't there. Now, Paramount did something dumb, which was finally listen to fans 5 years later and put out volumes for the 2003 series. And if I could tell you that these are actually worse than the 4Kids releases, because they are. The first one, released on June 9th, 2015, NYC Showdown, contains Season 1, Episodes 21 to 23. And then The Search for Splinter on the same day with Season 1, Episode 1, and 25 to 26. And then, following that up in October 13th, 2015, Cowabunga Christmas, containing That Christmas Episode, Season 3, Episode 1, and Season 1's Episodes 7 and 8. They never did anything outside of Season 1 except for that Christmas episode, and there was a planned Shredder Strikes and Meet Casey Jones volumes, which never saw release. So, 2015 to 2023, there was nothing. And in 2023, we finally got our complete set. So getting a complete series box set with every episode is an accomplishment for how messy it's been. But here's the question. Are the episodes in order? Because that has plagued pretty much every Ninja Turtles release throughout the entire history, except for Next Mutation, because Shout knew what they were doing with this one. Guess what? I am happy to report for the second time ever, all the episodes are in production order. This is a huge accomplishment because not even the 2012 series has them all in production order. This set has every episode in production order, which is fantastic. Now let's talk about the set itself, because I think it's important to talk about what we're getting into here. Being a manufactured on-demand release isn't directly produced by Paramount themselves. It is still Paramount Home Video, but it's a little bit outsourced to do that manufactured on-demand. Now, MovieZing was the first website to post this, so it seems like they might be the ones that actually produced it. on behalf of Paramount. And there was an interview with a guy from Movie Zing who didn't work on the set, but was part of the company producing the set. They worked for minimum distribution for package discs and have a relationship with Viacom, which is the parent company of Paramount. So the person wasn't involved in the authoring of the set, but had general knowledge to share, including that the files came from Viacom, who provided the best masters available. It seems like Viacom has simply lost the uncut version and couldn't provide anything else. And apparently Viacom also did not have any bonus content to provide. So those statements I did want to highlight. Yes, this is essentially whatever is sitting in Paramount marked "That's the show." Because the thing is, and this is a point of contention, I think, for some fans, they're not remasters, all right? They're not upscales. They're not, we went back to the original source footage and got it up to a perfectly beautiful master. This release is, the series. It's 155 episodes and a movie, which is not bad for content-wise. Like, there's a lot of stuff in one set, especially considering how some of the other Ninja Turtles DVDs have gone. So the thing is that I don't really have a problem with it not having bonus content. There were bonus features on the early 4Kids DVDs, such as interviews with Peter Laird and some like little turtle tips things or something like that. And those would have been nice to see, but I imagine that Paramount just doesn't have those on standby, because honestly, why would they? They bought the franchise, they took whatever they had from 4Kids, they put it in a drawer and said, all right, that's our drawer of Turtles. And then later on, they're like, hey, we need to add some more stuff to Paramount Plus. And so they decided to pull up the 2003 series. And they're like, okay, cool, just go find the best copies of everything. And then that'll be our default set. And that's pretty much what we got here. I'm pretty confident these are the Paramount Plus masters pretty much tossed to DVD. The thing is that, yeah, it would have been nice to have gotten a really detailed, remaster, an upscale, a beautiful Blu-ray, or even an SD Blu-ray as opposed to 18 DVDs. But the realistic fact of the matter is Paramount would not do that. Paramount won't even spend the money to pay their actors and writers who are currently on strike because they're not getting paid by the studio. Why would they spend any money on this more than just, hey, here's some files, company that does our MOD releases, just go do it. Of course it's what it's going to be. It was always what it's going to be. If they did this in 2009, it would have been the same exact thing. It's entirely possible the reason for the delay was because at some point they were like, oh, we don't care about this, we're working on a new show, and then now we're going to put it on streaming. Okay, now we have some source footage to work with. Let's do a DVD for the 20th anniversary. Something like that. It definitely is something that people have demanded for. This is a studio release from a big studio who owns the rights to a show they didn't produce. Let's see how it actually is. Let's crack open the case, let's take a look at it, and let's look at those DVDs and find out how is the quality. So here it is. Here's the set itself. This is, I think, a pretty good looking set, all things considered. I think the packaging art is pretty solid. I mean, this is all pre-existing promo art. We got Donatello, Raphael, Leonardo, Michelangelo. Looking cool. I think in an action pose. It's a collage from various sources. You can see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, The Ultimate Collection, the complete 2003 TV series plus TV movie. So it tells you what you're getting up front. Different set of images on the spine here. Again, just pre-existing promo art. You can see the Nick logo. You can see the logo for the set up top, which I think is pretty cool. And then on the back, you got another set, promo images collaged together. It does have a bio here that does mention all 55 episodes. It also includes Turtles Forever and has a bio for that. The other part is it does mention a full frame presentation, TV movie presented in widescreen, English, Dolby Digital Stereo, not rated, Paramount. And over here, 2003-2009 color, 3,462 minutes, US not rated, Canada PG. These discs were created in compliance with applicable DVD specifications. Certain advanced features may not play on all machines. There are no advanced features. We're good. So let's crack it open. So this is a what we call a large pack, a large digipack. Here it is. It's pretty bare in the middle, in the inside. As you can see, there's like nothing in the inside covers. There's 18 discs to this. But this is a similar packaging style to the complete box set re-releases of the 87 and the 2012 shows. So I think actually the three together on a shelf wouldn't look too bad. And I know not everybody's a fan of these sets, especially because you can pull the whole middle section out. It's not really attached to anything, and you can easily touch the disc because of these gaps. And yeah, I agree. It's not the greatest box option out there, that's for sure. But definitely beats the alternative of it being released in a ton of volume. So I'll take the thick box, thank you. All right, so let's get to it. Let's crack it open. So every disc has 9 episodes. There is no season breaks, and the discs don't really tell you what season they are. It just 1 through 9, 10 through 18, etc. So that is pretty much just how you got to do it. Like I've mentioned, every episode is in order, so you don't have to worry about missing anything or looking for where it is on the set. If you know what the production code is, you know where to find the episode. And I do mean production code, because this is interesting when we get to disc 13. Season 5, episode 6 was production coded 110, was never produced. That episode was rejected at the script phase, and there was some minor animation done. They already done production work on it, but it was rejected. It was not produced. So this says to me that the masters they have are production code numbered, which is why they're in order. But you can see 109, 111. There is no 110. It never existed fully animated, but they did include the numbering there, which means if you were to open the set and flip to 156, you're going to wonder why it says that instead of 155. And as you can see, 154 to 156 plus Turtles Forever make up the last disc, meaning that this is not the same disc as the previous single release of Turtles Forever, which might be a problem, and we'll talk about that later. But the thing is here is I think it's a really nice, efficient set. Obviously, they're not going to put a ton of work into it as a manufactured-on-demand release. Of note, Season 3, Episode 1, The Christmas Aliens, is in its production order spot as episode 53, which is on disc 6, as opposed to being the 12th episode of the season. It is the first, which is correct for the production order. Also, season 3, episode 12, New Blood, and season 3, episode 13, The Lesson, are in the correct production order. On Paramount Plus, they flip-flopped those and stuck the Christmas episode between. So this is definitely corrected from Paramount Plus release, which is really great. Now, you're probably wondering, is the Mayhem from Mutant Island shorts included? They aren't listed on the disc. They are not on this set. Those shorts are still available on YouTube. I don't know if there is, they may not know they exist. They may not think they're important. Ultimately, they really aren't like a major part of the story or anything. They were just kind of a fun bonus thing during season 7, Back to the Sewer. But, they're not included. I don't think it's a real knock on the set. A lot of the time, shorts don't get included. Sometimes maybe due to legal. I mean, those were released, I think, I think they aired with certain shows. They were on the 4Kids website. Maybe there's a legal thing. Maybe Paramount doesn't feel like the master they have was worth releasing. Maybe they didn't even know it existed. But I don't think that's a knock from this, because you can find Mayhem from Mutant Island on YouTube pretty quickly. And like I said, it's not a major chunk of the story. This set is an absolute accomplishment, though, for having all 155 episodes in production order. Because the only other one that had a complete set, even though I have the volumes, the only one that had a complete set that was in order was Next Mutation from Shout Factory. So these are the two shows that have a correct production order release. And if Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles ever gets a complete set, hopefully on Blu-ray since it's a modern show, I don't know if that'll be in production order as well, but at least I'll take the accomplishment of 2 of the shows at least have a correct ordered release. So before we talk about picture quality, I did want to mention the menus. The promo art here is the actual artwork from the Turtles Forever poster. It's the same art they use on Paramount Plus, even though they don't have Turtles Forever on Paramount Plus, but that is just the same art on every disc. It's very simple. You got play all, and you got the list of episodes. They do not number the episodes. They are just in order there. So you go from Things Change, Mousetrap, Attack of the Mouses, Casey Jones, etc. So you just have to scroll through, and then you can boot up the episodes from here. Every episode does start with the Nickelodeon logo that says, "You're watching Nickelodeon," which is weird because it's a DVD, but whatever. This seems like whatever was attached to the masters, but every episode does start with one of those. Surprisingly, the commercial bumpers are intact. This was something missing from the 4Kids DVDs, but was on the Paramount Plus versions, I believe. And you actually get all the commercial bumpers, so good for preservation. Slightly obnoxious in show, where every 5 minutes you have to hear, the ending stinger of the theme song, at the end of every episode. But it's still nice to have for, again, that preservation of the commercial bumpers. Also of note, the recaps for the multi-part episodes are intact. I believe this was also missing from the 4Kids DVDs, but yeah, you get the little recap that kind of recaps the previous episode, which is great. Again, they've kind of preserved the recaps, the episode bumpers, all that, which is pretty awesome. So now we're going to talk video and audio quality. First things first, I think audio-wise, the show sounds good. It's produced in stereo, it's presented in stereo, it's nothing you would expect. It's not horrible. That's the important part. It's exactly what you expected. Now, video quality-wise, it's weird. Some episodes look great, and others look really weird. So I noticed some of the darker shadows sometimes get blurred out. Occasionally, characters will get kind of blobby and lose their line texture. This is something I've noticed is sporadic, not prominent. I saw a lot of people online saying that the set is muddled with video errors, which to an extent that's true. There is video errors present. However, people make it sound like every episode looks awful. In fact, I did some spot polling. It's not all awful. So I have presented a collection of screenshots, including comparisons to the 4Kids DVDs where applicable. We are going to take a look at the first disc. Every episode in the first disc, I pulled a random screenshot from each. That way we can kind of get an idea of, does this sort of muddled video error affect every episode or just some of them? Unfortunately, I think some of the biggest video errors I saw were in the first episode, which means it doesn't leave a good first impression. I then spot pulled every season of the show, and also we will talk about Turtles Forever, because that's a whole different topic. I do say that in general, from what I've spot pulled, it does seem like the set is mostly good. There are some episodes, though, that just got affected by some video issues. So let's take a look. I didn't watch all 155 episodes before doing this. I mean, I've had the set for like 2 days. But I did spot pull the entire set so that we can kind of get an idea of the long-range effects of any video problems. So let's take a look at the video comparisons. So before we begin looking at comparison shots of the quality, I do want to say that most of the things I'll point out, you probably won't even notice when you're watching the episodes unless you're looking for them. But I want to point them out nonetheless. Starting with the opening credits, there's a shot of Raphael I used as an example. On the 4Kids DVD, there's a lot of compression artifacts present, and it just looks really muddied and washed out. The Paramount Plus release fixed that in some ways. Even though all the lines aren't 100% sharp, it does seem to be kind of sharpened up a little bit better. The complete DVD does not look as sharp, but it looks more natural. If we go back to the Paramount Plus actually seems like it has an artificial brightness filter. This will be more apparent later on. Here's some screenshots from Season 1, Episode 1. First up, the 4Kids DVD of that iconic shot of Michelangelo kicking the screen. You can see that there is a pretty good sharpness to it, but it has a lot of dark saturated color. Then the Paramount Plus version retains the sharpness, however there is definitely a brighter shot here. And then the complete DVD set is back to being darker, but now some of the lines are muddied, like Michelangelo's foot isn't as contoured. This shot of Michelangelo leaning over a mouser is our next comparison. On the 4Kids DVD, once again, the darker colors, sharper lines. Paramount Plus definitely looks washed out. It looks almost like I put the brightness filter on here, which I didn't. This is how it's presented on the streaming service. And then the complete DVD gets back to the darkness, but now you start to see like Michelangelo's hand is molding into his thigh, and that doesn't look very good. However, again, I didn't notice this as much when I was watching the episode, but when I was looking for errors. So now we're going to move on to Season 1, Episode 2, and let's take a look and see if we can figure out what's going on here. So the Paramount Plus release, once again, looks artificially brightened. The colors are just too bright for what they are. Because when we get to the complete series DVD release, it looks darker. However, as you can see, everybody looks a little bit wobbly. There's not a sharpness to it that should be there. And for Season 1, Episode 3, here's another shot. And this shot is from the Paramount Plus. It does look brighter. Again, Michelangelo's green is a little too bright. And then on the DVD, it looks almost the same. It's a little bit muddled in the shadow area, but overall it looks okay. In Season 1, Episode 4, the Paramount Plus release, you have, once again, a shot of Casey Jones here that looks artificially brightened. And then here's the same shot from the complete series DVD, where it's the proper colors, but it's not getting washed out in the shadows like the previous episodes did. So something happened with the first 3 episodes. Continuing our example here, Season 1, Episode 5. Once again, here's a shot on Paramount Plus of Leonardo and Michelangelo. And then here's a shot from the DVD, which I think looks much better. Flipping back and forth between the Paramount and the complete DVD set, you can see that there is just a brightness filter on the Paramount release. Moving forward to Season 1, Episode 6. Here's a shot. Once again, it's going to be a darker scene. And the DVD set, once again, feels like a more natural color. Now, the actual muddied face on Donatello is because I caught him in motion as opposed to being a solid screenshot. Moving on to Season 1, Episode 7. Here's the shot from Paramount Plus where Casey's hair looks almost silver. And then here's the shot from the complete DVD where it's got more of its blue tone. Once again, it looks pretty close. So for Season 1, Episode 8, this shot is from Paramount Plus of Hun grabbing Leo's swords and Casey reaching out to tap him on the shoulder. This is a lot of shadows, so how is it going to be on the DVD set? Well, on the DVD set, hey, the shadows didn't ruin the shot. It is a few frames forward. I couldn't get an exact shot on this, but you can see that it didn't wash out Hun like it did on the earlier episodes. And then the last episode on Disc 1, Season 1, Episode 9, here's a shot of Leo and Mikey once again. It looks pretty good on Paramount, doesn't look artificially brightened, but you can see the more natural tones present on the DVD. But again, it's not super muddied. There is a bit of loss of detail from the Paramount to the DVD around Leo's fingers, And that might be due to one of the problems with the set, which is that the bars on the side are burned into it, so that means the resolution may have taken a hit every time they add those bars. So now I want to spot pull the rest of the series so we can get a barometer of how it looks. This time we're going to look at the complete DVD set version before comparing it to the Paramount. For Season 2, Episode 1, here is a shot of Fugitoid. I think it looks fine. I don't see anything calling out to me. It's a visual error. And I switch to the Paramount viewing and it looks about the same, even if it does look a little bit brighter on the Paramount. Season 3, Episode 2, since that's the non-Christmas episode. On the DVD, once again, those darker tones. Once again, I'm not seeing everything muddled out. And on the Paramount, it looks artificially brightened when you switch back to it. Season 4, Episode 1. On the DVD, you can read the text, Cousin Sid, pretty well, and this is a dark, shadowy shot. There is a little bit muddiness going on here, but it's not super severe. And in fact, I think it looks better than the Paramount shot, because the Paramount shot just looks too bright. Season 5, Episode 1. This is a shot in the daytime where there's a lot of light thrown on Leo and Raph here, so it already looks kind of blown out as is. But on the DVD set, it does look sharp. On the Paramount, it looks way too blown out because there's the brightness filter on top of the light. Season 6, Episode 1, I do have a 4Kids comparison for. So first of all, the complete set, as you can see, nice city skyline. It looks pretty clean. On Paramount, about the same, once again with the artificial filter. But then the 4Kids DVD has the TVY7 logo on it, so an improvement all around, I'd say, for the complete series set. Now, this shot from the end of the opening looks really rough when I'm showing you the complete DVD version, but it also looks rough on Paramount Plus, and it looks very rough on the 4Kids DVD. For some reason, the last shot in the fast-forward opening is just really low quality. And then lastly, we're gonna take a look at Season 7, Episode 2, specifically from the opening credits. Here you go, back to the Sewer Turtles. It is a little bit muddied, I think, because of it's a VFX shot with that backdrop. And it doesn't look any better on Paramount Plus. And in fact, Paramount Plus, once again, has that filter where the colors are a little bit askewed. So now let's talk about the worst part about this DVD set, which is Turtles Forever on the final disc. Now, Turtles Forever, as I previously mentioned in the history segment, was released by Paramount back in 2010. It was actually their first release as the company owning Ninja Turtles. And this contained the 73-minute, what is known as the TV movie edit. This is a version of the movie that contains all the major scenes of the film, but is missing about 9 extra minutes of extra dialogue and scenes. That is officially known as the unedited cut, and that was released in Region 2. The Region 1 release is pretty much just the 73-minute cut, whereas the 81-minute cut is available in other regions. Now, that extended cut, I actually don't think is that big of a deal, if I'm being honest, because all it adds is extra dialogue and extra character scenes. It doesn't add anything to the plot. It's not like the 73-minute version is missing anything. The 81-minute version adds some additional scenes. It's nice, it's good for preservation, but in terms of the overall content, it's not like they cut major scenes. I've gone through all the edits over the years, and I'm like, it's not that big of a deal. And also, as the Movie Zing interview quote I brought up earlier mentioned, it's likely that Paramount doesn't have it or doesn't even realize they have it. It may be just in a different drawer marked somewhere and no one's gonna spend the money looking for it. You wanna get this if you're buying this box set because this release is 100% better. Unfortunately, the version that's in this box set isn't even that version. I thought they would have just repacked that disc, but no, they actually did a new encode. The version included here is 69 minutes, which means it's 4 minutes shorter than the edited cut. It cuts the final scene with Eastman and Laird in their office before it cuts to credits. It has a completely different set of credits that just loops some sound effects and some music. It's really strange. This is likely because the version included here is a combined version of the 3-parter edition of the movie that aired later after they aired it as a movie. They had a 3-parter. This feels like it could be a 3-parter, and at 69 minutes, that's what it seems likely to be. Now, the interesting part here is that on Paramount's single release of Turtles Forever, there was a letterboxing thing. This is a 4:3 DVD, meaning that there's bars on either side. However, the movie was made in 16:9, so there's bars on the top, which also means if you're watching it on a 16:9 TV, there's bars here and bars here. You can fix that with the zoom option on a lot of Blu-ray players or DVD players, but it still is kind of an annoyance. That is fixed here. It is a 16:9 presentation across because the rest of the episodes are technically 16:9 because they burned in the black bars. So that is good. However, the picture quality is garbage. So there's a thing that happens in video encoding that it's either due to an encoding error or due to a space issue and the encoding actually compressing the footage down even further. you get what is known as ghosting. It's like when anybody moves something and then there's just, you can see the trail of their arm or their mouth or their face or anything like that. This is, you know, sort of happened to other releases, and it's not supposed to happen. And the thing is that Turtles Forever on the complete set is almost all ghosting. And usually ghosting would happen with fast motion. In this instance, it's everything. So I grabbed some screenshots to show you what I mean about the ghosting effect, and then comparing them to the original DVD release. At the end of the day, if I can say this right now, if you're picking up the complete set, also pick up this, because official Region 1 release-wise, this is the best release of Turtles Forever. But let's take a look at those screenshots, because I was a little bit horrified at how it looked. For Turtles Forever, I'm going to show you the Paramount single release first, and then the complete series DVD second. So here's a shot from the Paramount DVD of characters in motion. As you can see, I froze it and I was able to take a solid shot. Here's the same shot from the complete series DVD set, and you can see that it just looks like a disaster. There are 3 Raphs on screen, 3 Mikeys, 3 Leos. And I don't just mean their 87 and 2003 versions. The ghosting on here is atrocious. Here's a shot from the Paramount single DVD of Donatello talking in the Purple Dragon lair. And here's that same shot on the complete series DVD, where you can see that he's barely moving, but he's just ghosting all over the place. This is not good. I do not like the way Turtles Forever is presented on the set. So ultimately, is this the ultimate collection? No, they label things like that. It usually, rarely is a truthful statement. But I think it's still worth your time. Because, well, okay, let me add that. It's worth your time if you also got this. This set is nearly great. There is some video issues, as I talked about. But most of those video issues don't really play when you're watching it. You know, like when you're watching an episode, if you're looking for video errors, you will find them. But if you're just casually watching it, watching the show, and it looked fine from a normal TV viewing distance. Could the video quality be better? Absolutely. Do I think it's a result of the compression of the discs? Most likely. It's just one of those things that comes up. But in terms of a DVD set, I would say it looks like the Paramount Plus version enough. Paramount Plus may look a little bit better, and maybe you just want to watch it there, but one day they might just pull that show out of nowhere, and then you'll have only this DVD set to go back to for the official release. And that is what I'm talking about at the end of the day. I'm talking official releases, because I can't talk about anything else that may be out there online because of the nature of this channel. So the thing is, I think that overall, if you get this set and also get the Turtles Forever, because even with the letterboxing thing, this is a much better release, I can honestly say I feel like this was worth it. It's not perfect, and I can understand if people don't want to buy it because it doesn't have a remaster, because it's missing, you know, I don't know, Mayhem from Mutant Island is on YouTube, so, you know, it's not a huge deal. But I would say that if you're a fan of this show and you're wondering why there isn't more merch of this show, here's a chance to vote with your wallet. Go, hey, you know, Paramount, we like this show. Other than that, I mean, it's up to you at the end of the day. I think I've given you plenty of information on this video, and I hope that it's been helpful so that you know if you want this set or not. For me personally, I'm happy to have it. Especially, I do like that it is just one set, not like a whole stack of DVDs like the other Turtle shows have been. And I know there's repacks. I can obviously fix that pretty easily. But the thing is that I think having this show, every episode in order, is pretty great. It's really a nice, simple convenience as well. As always, could it have been better? Yes. Is this exactly what I expected out of Paramount? Outside of the really poor quality on Turtles Forever, yeah, this is about what I expected. So at the end of the day, the release is out there. If you want it, I do say that if you're going to get it, it's worth the money. It runs about, I think it runs just under $60 US, which for 155 episodes ain't bad. That's a lot of episodes. But I think whether it came out now or 14 years ago, it was going to be about the same. It is whatever Paramount had on a disc, so I guess I can recommend it for that. And I hope this video was helpful. And if it was, be sure to hit the like button and hit subscribe and notification for future videos. If you have any questions about the set, please leave a comment. I tried to cover everything. I spent days researching the show and all its prior releases. I did not watch all 155 episodes before reviewing it. So if you have a specific question about a specific episode, I can take a look at that. And if you have a timestamp, that'll help too. On that note, if you do enjoy Ninja Turtles, Blu-rays, and DVDs, come check out my live streams here on this channel Mondays at 5 p.m. Eastern. We talk Turtles, we talk all kinds of cool stuff. It's a good time. And if you want to continue this conversation, you can also check out the Soundout Discord protocol, our new Discord server, where we have specific tabs about Blu-rays and DVDs and comics and shows and movies and all kinds of stuff. So come join the conversation, come join the community. The link is in the description. Also, be sure to check out my social media if you would like, on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Soundout12, as long as those are still applicable. And then also be sure to check out my awesome graphic designer on Twitter, YouTube, and Discord at DarkClaw643. Also, you can find Hero Club at hero-club.com for comic book news and more. And until next time, this is Soundout saying goodbye.